This is the AM News. Let's get into the details. Starting with, there are sweeping reforms to the senior high school system as the government commenced the implementation of a new curriculum on Monday. Now, government says the changes are to focus on building character development and holistic education to create well-rounded students. The new curriculum takes over from the existing system, with students now required to do a minimum of 7 and a maximum of 9 learning areas in school. Let's listen to Acting Head of Curriculum Development at the National Council for Curriculum Assessment, Reginald Korte, on why this change is necessary.
It is a new curriculum that is standards-based, different from the objective-based or the content-based that we're running time back. And so, as it's being a sequel to the SHS 1, we had to find out what really the issues were, and that from stakeholders that we had engaged, it came up that the kind of learners that were coming out from our schools were not meeting global standards. Again, when they come up, they were not able to fit into schools, like in the university, they were not doing very well. And also, when they came out of school, they needed to be retrained. And again, there are a lot of global competencies that our students need to develop. Okay. And so some of those were some of the reasons that we needed to look at the curriculum going forward.
The major changes include grouping specific learning areas into 4 groups, with students at liberty to choose subjects which were not included in the courses. Listen to Director General of NaCCA, Professor Yayura Jakaji, who explains this new system with general science as a case study.
For example, we have a learning area called science. Okay. So we have 4 groups. We have group A, B, C, and D. Okay. In a group A, we have core subjects, which every learner will do once you enter that space. Which is still the maths. The maths. But what is unique about a science learner is that the line learner is not going to do general science or core science. Oh, okay. Okay. Because that will be taken care of by the biology, physics, and chemistry, which is already in group.
So core maths, core science, they are off.
They are off.
For the main science program.
Yes, science program.
Okay.
No, the core maths is there.
The core maths is still there.
The core maths is there.
Okay,
It's the core science that is off.
Okay.
No, the core maths is there. It's the core science that is off. Okay. So the learner will be exposed to the physics, chemistry, and biology. Great. Yes. So that caters for the core science. Okay.
Now, according to Director General of NaCCA, Professor Yayura Jakaji, significant and extensive engagement has been done with all stakeholders before this implementation.
Done a lot of stakeholder engagement, running from chiefs, yes, we engage the chiefs and people of Ghana completely. We engage universities, university lecturers, UTAG, GAWA. We engage teacher unions as in NAT, NAGRAT, and CCT, and then we also went ahead to engage parents. Okay. Parents were also engaged.
Parents were involved?
Yes, were involved. We also engage industry players also, yes, to get the information from them.
Mr. Korte, I'm interested, during that engagement, the extensive stakeholder engagement that we've talked about, what were some of the issues that came up? What level of, buy-in did we get from all these stakeholders, you'd say? Okay,
so like my Director General has said, the engagement came at various stages and at various levels and with various categories of people. So just like you have said, with students, this is the first time when we actually engage students extensively to the extent that even during the writing sections, we brought students to the writing center to actually engage with the writers, and it will marvel you the kind of things that learners themselves wanted to learn, and the kind of contribution they also put up.
The executive director of the Africa Center for Retirement Research has lauded the NDC's manifesto proposal to make past credits payable to Ghanaian workers from age 50 years if they win the December polls. He says that the policy would improve the social and economic well-being of workers nearing retirement, explaining that the proposal took into account life expectancy and worker mortality statistics in Ghana. And he spoke to Benjamin Akakbo on the AM show yesterday when he analyzed the pensions manifesto of the two political parties, and this happened sometime last week. There
are provisions in the Act 760 that tells you that 5.5% of the employee benefit, of the employee salary should be deducted. The employer should add 13%. That is clear cut. Now, if you are now digging your hand somewhere, it could be very, 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 very complicated.
But it's still taxing, though, is it not? What they're taking right now from us as workers is tax. What they are adding to it...
It's not tax.
It's not, you don't call it tax?
We don't call it tax. It's only in certain jurisdictions that you find it. You find that they call it tax, but it's not actual tax.
Not actually tax.
The tax doesn't come back to you in any form, exactly. But at the end of the day, when we are talking about contribution is returned to you in the form of benefit.
For the sake of time, I want us to breeze through some of them. When there's talk about mortgages, using this in the sense of mortgages, how feasible is that? And then let's also look at when the MPP talks about legislative reform. You've already spoken about having separate legislations for some things. Let's look at those two areas quickly.
Yeah, so the MPP has mentioned, using tier 2 contributions to, as a collateral to secure mortgage for primary residents. The NDC has also mentioned something like that. For me, that is no-brainer for both political parties.
It's a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer because it is clearly stated in Section 1032 of the Act 766 that it's stipulated in the Act that the worker can use his tier 2 contributions as a collateral, to secure mortgage for, primary residence. It's clearly in there, so what is left is just implementation. And I remember in 2016, the MPP did indicate that it was going to implement fully Section 1032 of the Act 760, which is referring to that.
Moving on, headmistress of the Mamfe Methodist Girls High School, Winfred Arthur, last Saturday advocated for a new approach to education reforms for the benefits of the country. Speaking at the 40th anniversary of the school, she urged the government to boost the development of the infrastructure needed for teaching and learning in second cycle schools in the country. With first-year students teaching sessions set to begin on 10th November, the availability of essential school stationery for effective teaching and learning has become increasingly critical. Here's more.
We imbibe in our girls the tenacity of being resolute as young girls, because we know that in this age, if they are not firm on the rules of Christ, and in our school it's a mission school, therefore the Wesleyan tradition is what we imbibe on. And when we talk about Wesleyan tradition, we are talking about being time conscious, being respectful, being obedient, being self-disciplined. So if you come to the school, you would notice that everything is timed, right from the rising bell to the sleep time. Not long ago, the team from the Ministry of Education came to assess the school for it to be looked at and considered to be a grade A school. What was lacking as a school was some of the infrastructure deficits. The road was one, dining hall is another, few dormitories because of the ever increasing demand for students wanting to come to McGee's. And by the grace of God, the road is done. We are looking forward that on this day that we mark our anniversary, the dining hall project will also be done so that students who want to come to McGee's will be able to pick them. You know, it is the admission seasons and a lot of calls come in. Unfortunately, because of the dormitory challenge and the dining hall and the classroom numbers we have, we are not able to pick the many students that want to come to the school.
Now, the 28th Ghana University Sports Association Games has been launched in UCC at a ceremony organized by the local organizing committee under the auspices of the University of Cape Coast Sports Directorate. The 28th GUSA Games will be hosted by UCC on the theme Repositioning University Sports for National Development. Central Regional Correspondent Erica Sante was at the event and has come through with this report.
16 institutions will participate in the 28th edition of the GUSA Games, which is expected to attract about 4,000 student athletes. The biennial sporting event offers an opportunity for students to showcase and develop their talents. This year's GUSA Games will be held in January because of the December elections. The games will take place between January 3rd and 18th, 2025. Speaking at the launch of UCC 2024, the Vice-Chancellor of the University of Cape Coast, Professor Johnson Nyakubuampom, expressed UCC's readiness to host a successful event.
University sports serve as a powerful tool for promoting unity, discipline, and excellence. The sports are more than just games. They provide breeding ground for future leaders, innovators, and change makers. The skills and values nurtured through sports are teamwork, perseverance, leadership, and resilience, which are needed to drive national development. Our universities have long been the cradle of academic excellence. It is time we also recognize and harness the potential of sports as a catalyst for national development.
Dr. Ibrahim Shaibu Tanku, the president of GUSA, applauded the university's management and the LOC for their preparation to ensure a memorable hosting of GUSA 2024. He urged the University of Cape Coast to ensure alternative training spaces for the Games.
The GUSA Games, scheduled to ignite from January 3rd to January 18th, 2025, promises to bring together a multitude of talents and aspirations. Yet, as we gather here, we must recognize the unique context of this period. It coincides with Ghana's electoral processes, a cornerstone in our national democratic journey. We are aware that this timing may bring unforeseen challenges, especially if a runoff election takes place. To our dedicated organizers, I urge proactive measures. Could we explore flexible training schedules, alternative training spaces, or providing additional support to maintain our athletes' momentum?
The Vice-Chancellor of UCC, the GUSA President, and the LOC Chairperson, Professor Rosemond Boahene, jointly unveiled the official mascot, Ogua Suapon Okorie. Professor Boahene, on her part, emphasized the importance of sports and athletics.
In the coming weeks, our athletes will prepare tirelessly, supported by coaches, mentors, and friends, to represent their universities and personal aspirations. Our community, in turn, will be there to encourage them, cheer them on, and witness the fruits of their hard work and commitment.
The UCC 2024 Games will see athletes participate in games like football, athletics, volleyball, hockey, handball, basketball, among others. For Joy Sports, my name is Erica Santi, UCC.
A leading member of Alan Kojo Tremantin's campaign for president team, Hobson Adoye, has said that the flag bearer of the movement for change would be the first independent candidate to be elected as president in Ghana, thereby rescuing Ghanaians from the mess created by the ruling New Patriotic Party. And he made these remarks during a campaign tour of the Bono East region to canvass votes for the Afrafranto Alliance. Anna Sabit tells us more.
An engagement with voters in the Bono East region as part of campaign strategies ahead of the December 7 polls. Hobson Adoye, a key figure of Alan Kojo Tremantin's movement for change, also known as the Afrafranto Alliance, noted that Alan Tremantin will be the first independent candidate to be voted as president in Ghana's history. According to him, Alan Tremantin's legacy speaks highly of him, and Ghanaians will give him the credit on December 7.
This is what we are doing, to make sure we have the voter contact. We will not go and bash people to one place, be on the stage, dance, shout, and then come home. No. That we are moving from constituency community to community is very effective more than putting people together. So that is the main reason of the campaign. And I'm confident that, I'm very optimistic that at the end of the season, Ghanaians are going to elect Alan Kyerematen as the first independent president. Look at the smaller towns that we went. Everybody, Alan Kyerematen. So it should tell you that people are getting the message. And we know all those who are contesting, it's only Alan Kyerematen who can save this country from this mess that FDP has put us in.
He further revealed that the elections will move into a runoff which will go in favor of the Afanfanto movement.
My hope for Alan winning this election from the one, it has not changed. And from the one, I've been saying that 2024 elections, no straight win. There's going to be a runoff, and I still stand by that. Once there's a runoff, Allah is the president of the Republic of Ghana.
Some party faithfuls who spoke with Joy News expressed why they are optimistic that Alan Kyerematen has what it takes to win the December polls and change Ghana's destiny.
The maminya papa ni mujitia timi mani abere ne se tambia mehwe TV amatie ni bia na se Obama ma ba se me so makoyo obatan ti se obi so Obama ma de enta me so me ni menua no ma ye nyina yenko na ye ma papa ne ma no me so ma yasene ti eno ne ma hoden eni me nyina so pa so se ma eba e na wo ba no mani gisa
Kyerematen enyim bunu yisi nim hwe no ye can business resource centers atama no ye minister for trade and industry techima ha ebi wo ha o ko kemike tampo abi wo o ko atebubu amante a na juma o ye ebi wo ho na wo ye no fi ho a Alan Kyerematen now no he's telling the youth of this country and about 70% of Ghana's population e mabunu and the mabunu ade o mu ye nyina e aduma. And so Alan Kyerematen is telling the youth of this country, let us vote for him and he's going to provide jobs.
Reporting for Joy News, Anas Sabit, Techiman.
Away from that, candidates representing the New Patriotic Party and the National Democratic Congress in the Zebila and Bongo constituencies have pledged to prioritize water, sanitation and hygiene initiatives, as is WASH initiatives, and climate change mitigation, should they be elected in the upcoming elections. And they made these commitments during the town hall meetings organized by Water Aid Ghana to facilitate dialogue between the candidates and constituents regarding their policy positions on WASH and climate resilience. Upper East Regional Correspondent Albert Sorry reports.
Ghana organized the town hall meetings to provide a platform for the parliamentary candidates in their operational areas in Zebila and Bongo to present their positions on climate resilient water, sanitation and hygiene, WASH, respond to questions from community members, and commit to implementing climate-resilient WASH policies in response to petitions from the communities. In the Zebila constituency, the parliamentary candidate for the MPP, John Kurugu, and the NDC's candidate, Ebenezer Ndebila, emphasized the importance of investing resources and time to address critical issues of climate-resilient water, sanitation, and hygiene facilities.
In a rural district like ours, access to water is a problem, and the same way is access to sanitation facilities. Many of us grew up by just running into the bush to do our own thing. And when I was running for primaries, I went to places where when they fetched the water for me to drink, it was very difficult for me. So count me in as your counterpart and advocate and a partner in water and sanitation.
To get to most of the health centers, there's no water in the health center. Patients come to the hospital, they go out defecating around the hospital or the health center. They come back, there's no water to even wash their hands. And so I have taking it up very seriously, that if given the nod, I would work tirelessly to ensure that I lobby institutions of interest to make sure we provide water systems to most of our health facilities within the constituency or within the district.
In the Bongo constituency, the parliamentary candidates were unable to attend the town hall meetings and sent representatives who, on their behalf, assured the constituents of their commitment to wash issues, emphasizing the challenges faced by their communities in terms of water access and environmental sustainability. The people of Zebila were generally satisfied with the commitment of their parliamentary candidates. However, their counterparts in Bongo said they were disappointed.
I was highly disappointed. I wanted they themselves to be here so that any question that I ask, I will hold them responsible if any of them happens to win the election. Because those that they sent to come and represent them did not even answer most of our questions.
Water Aid is able to give us a mechanized borehole, but it got to a time that we had a breakdown. So we took the machine to Tamale, and the cost we couldn't bear. So we wrote so many letters to Assembly asking for their support, and we haven't heard anything from them. So I was expecting that the DC would have been here, so that I would ask her whether she's aware of that.
For Water Aid Ghana, as the election approaches, the focus on wash and climate change underscores the urgent need for effective policies to enhance the well-being of residents in the Upper East region.
Water, hygiene and sanitation are essential to improving health outcomes and fostering sustainable development in our communities. Yet the effect of climate change continue to threaten access to basic services, especially for the most vulnerable among us. Water Aid Ghana believes that by working together, both communities, the candidates, and other advocates, we can create a lasting solution.
Reporting for Joy News, Albert Sorry, Zebila.
Coming up next is Business Update.
Welcome to Business and our first story. Finance professor at Andrews University, Williams Pepra, says the outcome of the American election is likely to negatively impact trade relations between Ghana and the United States should a new government make policies that will tamper with existing trade activities between both countries. Speaking earlier on Business Live, Professor Pepra urged government to maintain an open door policy, no matter the outcome of the elections, to prevent any possible pressure on the economy.
For instance, we know that we benefited from AGUA, and this relationship is still ongoing. As a country, we may have to keep an open door to ensure that this trade relationship still exists. When it comes to foreign aid and policies, we know that both parties, Democrats and Republicans, have their own policies, but we've noticed that President Trump is focusing more on domestic agendas. So there is a kind of fear that when he becomes a president, other nations may suffer. But this will not override the overall international relationship. So there is a major concern in that effect. And when it comes to the issue of security, we also know that the U.S. normally collaborates with a lot of countries in gathering security information. So that kind of relationship will still be there. Whoever be the president, we also have to keep an eye on that relationship. What really may affect Ghana is the point of trade, whether either of the president will be having a policy that is going to affect AGUA, and that will be a major impact on us.
Well, the equity base of Ghana's insurance industry recorded a significant expansion in 2023, growing by 24% from 4.5 billion Ghana cedis in 2022 to 5.52 billion in 2023. This was revealed in the 2024 Bank of Ghana Financial Stability Review. The following report highlights key trends in the industry for 2023. We apologize for the lack of sound in that clip, but up next is our currency market. Well, that's our recap of business. Handing over back to Sweetie Habochi.
Benjamin, and it's a wrap for the AM News on the AM show. You don't want to miss news review because Kojo Poku is energy analyst and Wisdom Dugbe is financial analyst. They're both joining us to review the newspapers and the stories in there and how it resonates with you and I. Keep watching.